Have you ever felt that your life isn't that fun, while the lives of people you see on social media are more fun? Have you ever felt tempted and wanted to pursue the achievement of your friends? Have you ever been curious about popular things or items or foods that people buy? Before I continue to talk about those questions further, let me introduce myself. I am Felicia Wijaya and you can call me Feli. I'm from 12 Science 2, study number 8 from PU Senior High School. So, the questions I mentioned at the beginning are the hints for our topic in this video because we're gonna talk about something that is currently popular and being discussed everywhere. Can you guess it? If you guess this is something about mental health, it could be, because we're gonna talk about fear of missing out, or we can say FOMO. I believe that FOMO is real. Do you agree with me? Maybe you hear about FOMO of the fear of missing out these days. What does that mean? FOMO is a term that each one of us will have come across in social media. What exactly is this FOMO? FOMO is nothing but an acronym for fear of missing out. It is a manifestation of peer pressure. Whether or not FOMO was a real issue was much debated for a long time period. However, now with the advent of social media, FOMO has morphed into becoming a major social issue. The fear of missing out, or FOMO, is the concern that people experience with regard to the possibility that they are missing or will miss out on rewarding opportunities. People most commonly experience FOMO when it comes to rewarding opportunities that other people, and especially those in your close social circle, are a part of. Teens and youth are constantly plagued by this anxiety of not keeping up with whatever is in the trend at the moment, and not being viewed as cool among peers. Seeing friends and others posting on social media can lead to comparison and an intense fear of missing out on things their peers are experiencing. You see on social media that your friends are enjoying a beautiful sunset, eating at a fancy restaurant. The more you see through this seemingly nice posts, the more your anxiety increases. This emotion can be explained, but it feels like ostracism and envy. Strange feelings like this are the fear of missing out. Researchers at Carleton University and McGill University in Canada discovered that FOMO can occur regardless of personality type. Neurotic and extroverted people are therefore no more at risk of fear of missing out. However, anyone dissatisfied with their life situation and whose need for love and respect isn't fulfilled will experience FOMO more often than the average person. Studies show that FOMO leads to extreme dissatisfaction and has a detrimental effect on our physical and mental health, such as loneliness, feeling of inferiority, extreme social anxiety, increased level of negativity, and depression. It is not surprising that the use of antidepressants has risen sharply in recent years due to FOMO. A survey from Sinli00, a professional psychological information and service platform in China, reported that 15.2% of respondents experienced severe FOMO. According to verywellmind.com, research suggests that in some teens, FOMO can play a role in anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and risky behaviors. FOMO can contribute to peer pressure, leading teens to engage in risky behaviors they might otherwise avoid. Because the teenage brain is still developing, teens may engage in such action without considering the lasting consequences. Can you imagine if we kept comparing our own life with only other people's seemingly nice pictures? Why do we believe that following the lives of others on social media will enrich our own life? Instead of wanting to experience the real world, why do we now prefer to look at it through a virtual window? Considering of the danger of fear of missing out, here are some ways to deal with fear of missing out. According to effectiveology.com, in order to successfully overcome with your fear of missing out, you should start by identifying the nature of your FOMO problem by figuring out the following. The first one, when and where you experience FOMO. For example, you might find that you experience FOMO on weekend nights if you spend that time alone at home, which negative thought patterns and behavior you engage in when you experience FOMO. For example, you might find that you're lying in bed browsing social media on your phone while feeling sad and left out. The second one, what causes you to experience FOMO in the first place? For example, you might find that you feel FOMO because there's nothing for you to do or think about. So you start obsessing about what others are doing instead. Once you identify these things, you will be prepared to overcome with your FOMO problem using various techniques that will help you deal with its underlying causes. Specifically, here are some behavioral techniques that you can use to overcome FOMO. The first one, if your FOMO is triggered by something specific, trying to find ways to avoid that trigger. For example, if your FOMO is triggered by social media, you could try to reduce the amount of time you spend on social media by blocking social media sites during certain time periods. The second one, try to replace negative habits that cause you to experience FOMO with more positive ones that allow you to avoid it. For example, if you often experience FOMO as a result of being bored at home, try to find some hobby that takes you outside and gets you to engage with people. The next one, release feeling out of the loop. Great things are indeed happening out there and sometimes you are not invited. Admit that you are missing out and there's nothing you can do about it. In fact, one approach may be to sever the fact. Blogger and entrepreneur Anil Das wrote about the joy of missing out, a term he coined to describe the satisfaction of doing things on his own terms. Das learned to find pleasure in JOMO after the birth of his son when he discovered the simple joy of getting home in time to give his son a bath and put him to bed. It seemed as if the internet was covered more by fear. The fear of unpopularity and uncoolness, the fear of missing out, the fear of being flamed or forgotten, the fear of missing out on things make you miss out on everything. The fear of missing out can lead you to miss out on something even greater, the life that you truly desire. Clearly, what we see of others online isn't a full representation of their lives. Instead, it's a personal social media marketing, similar to the image of airbrush models in fashion magazines that highlight and exaggerate only their most positive aspects. The inevitable disappointments, personal failures are rarely seen in social media. Last but not least, actually, FOMO is perfectly reasonable, considering that we are social creatures with a desire to blend in and fit into society. It is important to remember that most people experience FOMO to some degree and at some time. The uncomfortable emotion is normal and with the advent of social sharing tools, increasingly common. However, understanding the feeling and finding positive ways to deal with it can help us be happier with our own lives without getting wrapped up in the fear that we might be missing out on what cool kids are doing. Don't let FOMO cloud your mind, because for everything you have missed, you have gained something else. So, have you agreed with me that FOMO is real? That's all from me. Thank you and bye!